We will now call to order the City Council meeting this Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Mayor Terry Darcy presiding. Pastoral leader Kurt Paddock, St. Edward and Christ Episcopal Church, 206 North Midland Avenue, will lead us in giving the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We're so grateful to be with you here this evening. Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in this our city the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. Teach our people to rely on your strength and to accept their responsibilities to their fellow citizens, that they may elect trustworthy leaders who make wise decisions for the well-being of our city. Help us to serve you faithfully in our generation and honor your holy name. For yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are exalted as head above all. Amen. Amen. Please join me in pledge allegiance to our beloved country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice job.
Okay, we'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy?
Here.
Councilman Cardenas?
Here.
Councilman Clement?
Here.
Councilman Guerrero?
Here.
Councilman Hug?
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Here.
Councilman Mudrin?
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Here.
Okay, at this time, I would like to call to the podium Deputy Fire Chief Aaron Kozlowski to recognize some of our fire department personnel.
Mayor, Council, City Manager, thanks for letting me take a minute here to recognize our crew members that had a pretty spectacular call earlier this year. It was September 15th down at the Autobahn racetrack. We had an ambulance that they contracted out there, and the crew members on that were Mike Edelman and Todd Taylor. They got a call while they were there for an unresponsive patient, who's George, right there. When they got there, there was actually a nurse performing CPR on the patient. In the meantime, by the time, so they got there, they saw the patient was going to need further care. They called for Company 3 to come. By the time Company 3 had gotten there, they had continued the CPR. They had shocked the patient twice. They started an IV on him, gave him some epinephrine, and intubated the patient. What was kind of odd about this call was one of the medics, as he's bagging him, the patient opened his eyes, tried to talk, and yanked the tube out and started talking. He said, "What happened?" And the medic said, "Welcome back." And so talking to the medics on the way to the hospital, George continued to talk to them on the way there, and when they got to the hospital, the nurse said the same thing, which apparently was the appropriate response, was "Welcome back." So because of the extraordinary events of that call, we wanted to recognize the crews, and also George just wanted to give a quick thank you to them as well.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I want to thank you. And I think it's wonderful that we're able to recognize these heroes. Can we all give him a hand? It's not often that things like this happen. I got to tell you, I'm kind of happy it happened to me. You know, I wish I remembered most of this incident, but I don't. You know, just, it's kind of overwhelming. But I can tell you that in the future, when things happen, always think of these members. Also, the people who actually support them, the people in public works, the mechanics, the people in the street department, the people who water, all of them. They all work together as a huge team. These folks, along with law enforcement, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be standing here thanking you all and them. With that, thanks again.
Thank you.
Next, we have a presentation for the CDBG Review, Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, Program Year 2023.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you for having me tonight. I am excited to present the Community Development Block Grant Program Year 2023 CAPER Review. This is the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report. I'm excited to present not only because did we have a great year behind us that I'll highlight for you in this presentation, but we have a wonderful year ahead as well. The full CAPER is a 30-page document that will be available on our website and at the front desk here at City Hall. I have done my best to highlight the material in the next 10 slides for you, save you some time in reading it. CDBG operates on a 5-year cycle called the 5-year Consolidated Plan. Each of these program years beginning October 1st through September 30th, we are currently operating and coming to the end of the current con plan and in the midst of drafting the 2025 to 2029. I'd like to take this moment to invite council and our community to make an impact and assist us in drafting this plan and be involved in the planning process as much as possible. We have hosted several engagement sessions in conjunction with Will County, and we will continue these engagement sessions throughout the next few months. So if you yourselves have any committee meetings or town halls, I would love to bring these engagement sessions to them to get as much community input as possible. Each of these annual plans, each of these years begins with the annual action plan, which is the summary of resources, activities, and actions, and outline the allocated funding, and that they identify the goals and objectives, and they certify the consistency with the consolidated plan. Each of these years also concludes with the CAPER report, which is why I'm here today. This report is used to evaluate the federally funded dollars and activities and document the accomplishments to both HUD and to our local community. In order to have an eligible project, they not only need to be HUD eligible, but they must also meet one of the 3 national objectives to either benefit low, moderate income persons or areas, to meet an urgent need, or to aid in the prevention or elimination of slum or blight. The details within tonight's presentation are only on the activities approved and funded in program year 23. The full report document does have the itemized details and financial summaries of all activities, including prior year funds, delayed projects, and those that extended into and concluded in program year 23. The public, actually if I could go back one slide please.
Oh, I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
The activities that were approved for funding in 2023 included 3 public service, which are capped at 15%, 4 public facilities, 1 set aside for infrastructure, 1 micro enterprise activity, and admin. In total, Joliet was allocated $899,000. Of that $899,000, that included the public service allocations to CASA of River Valley, the Joliet Fire Department, and the City of Joliet Senior Snow Removal. I'd like to highlight that these public service projects are are for resources and services provided to those with low and moderate income. And as you can see from the chart, contrary to belief, it is not based on federal poverty levels. They do include that missing middle section, and those that are of moderate income. So a household of one can make up to $62,000 and still be considered for services, and a household of five can make up to $95,000 and still be considered of moderate income. Every year HUD determines these new income limits based on area median income. So the numbers that you're seeing are those under 80% of the Joliet area median income, and it does vary from city to city. The successes of the public service activities include those of Casa of River Valley, the Attorney Guardian Ad Litem, or GAL project. I cannot speak highly enough about it. It is a vital part of our court system. They provide advocacy services to children whose families are involved in active legal or criminal cases. CASA did provide assistance to 181 children last year. The Joliet Fire Department, they're a street outreach social worker. Again, another vital part of our community, provides services to clients in crisis situations, links individuals to essential emotional housing, financial resources, and provides direct referrals to local service agencies. They have played a huge role in the Community Cares event hosted by the Joliet Fire Department as well. And our City of Joliet Senior Snow Removal Program. This program last year assisted 333 residents with snow removal, providing accessibility and safety of both our senior aged and disabled residents throughout the winter season. The public facility projects that were approved last year included Catholic Charities, Spanish Community Center, Will Grundy Medical, United Cerebral Palsy, and a set aside for infrastructure, which at the time was to be determined. Each of these facilities or facility improvements does fall within a CDBG area or serves a qualifying population of low to moderate income area. The successes of these programs do include Catholic Charities, which completed the full renovation of their bathrooms, full renovation from top to bottom of this restroom, and Catholic Charities assisted over 520 residents that were seeking shelter just last year alone. Spanish Community Center, although this program was not completed in '23, I had the pleasure of walking through the construction site last week as they broke ground, and it will be a success on next year's caper as they complete it. They are completing ADA accessibility project, including a vertical lift, to make sure that their facility is fully accessible to all residents, including those with limited mobility. Will Grundy Medical, a beautifully renovated facility that I'm proud that CDBG funds had a part in. Just last year alone, part of that was the HVAC purchase and installation to support health, safety, and overall air quality of the facility. And they assisted over 1,100 residents last year. And finally, United Cerebral Palsy completed their parking lot improvements, a full restoration of their existing parking lot that fell into disrepair. The previous conditions did pose safety risks. Their parking lot divides the facility from the only ADA accessible playground within Joliet. So having that parking lot now safe for both, not just the clients of UCP, but for the community as a whole has been a great success. I would like to highlight that the 3 completed projects, Catholic Charities, Will Grundy Medical, and UCP, all came in under budget, which means that over $9,100 will return to be allocated to a future project. The successes of the Latino Economic Development Association with the Micro Enterprise Grant includes their Business Assistance Project. They provide technical assistance in both English and Spanish to local entrepreneurs, micro enterprise business owners. Just in the first 5 months of their reporting data alone, they assisted over 113 residents, including the new proud owners of Pocket Cloud, which I had the pleasure of going to their ribbon cutting last week. It's beautiful to see things like that come full circle with CDBG. The infrastructure projects, we were able to complete over $650,000 including funds that were set to expire and slated to be returned to HUD if unused. So the set aside that we set aside for program year 23 was combined with expiring dollars. I'll highlight that a little bit more on the next slide, but they did complete Parks Roadway and Bicentennial Bluffs sewer and water repair, two very long-awaited infrastructure projects, and assisted over 3,600 residents within the immediate area. The City of Joliet did not spend any admin funds last year out of what was set aside for administration. We are still utilizing funds from the previous year, so we will discuss in future funding capabilities on how to best allocate a little less admin in the future, so that way we can make sure that as many projects can be funded will be. I'd like to, again, note that the full report does have additional demographic, beneficiary, and accomplishment data included in the successes of the projects approved in prior years before 2023, and they were continued and ongoing and completed in this past program year. Some of the notable successes of the entire year, this was the fourth of the 5-year consolidated plan. The city continues to make progress on all prioritized objectives and needs. The 16 funded projects completed during the program year, 5 current, 11 outstanding, included the 2 long-awaited infrastructure of Parks Roadway and Bicentennial Bluffs, very large undertakings. Huge strides were made towards increasing economic opportunities of the 113 businesses assisted through LADA. Again, in the first 5 months of reporting alone, we know that their reach is much greater than that. And my personal favorite, for the first time in over 3 years, the City of Joliet has met the required timeliness test for HUD, while expending set to expire funds as far back as 2017. These funds were ready to be taken back, and we were able to successfully expend them this year. So although we were only allocated $899,000, we were able to both spend and be reimbursed over $2.2 million for HUD, which successfully assisted over 40,000 City of Joliet residents this year. The outcomes of the successful program year have already set us up for future accomplishments. Our program 24 snow removal is already underway with 340 recipients, and the demolition of a structure that was deemed a public nuisance in 2021 is slated to be demolished in the next coming weeks. The anticipated timeline for submitting this report to HUD includes, I was able to present to our subcommittee, Diversity and Community Relations, on Wednesday, November 13th. Today, presenting at Council, November 19th. Tomorrow will be the beginning of the public posting and public 15-day comment period, running from November 20th to December 5th, hosting a public hearing on December 3rd, and on December 6th, submitting to HUD along with any public comments received during that time. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
No, did a great job, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jackie, for making sure we're on time. Appreciate you.
Okay, our next presentation is for the 2025 capital budget.
Good evening. We've got a brief presentation for the 2025 budget.
How much did that cost?
There it is.
That flower.
Okay, sorry. So just wanted to review the process to date. So on June 3rd, we did a formal kickoff to the departments where we sent all the information for them to complete. That information was due back on July 12th. Following that meeting, as I mentioned last time I did a budget presentation, met with the city manager. We reviewed all parts of their budgets where we had to justify pretty much everything existing and new requests. At Finance, we did a presentation of the operational budgets on October 15th, followed by that presentation here on November 4th. So we're gonna talk about capital funds. So just to highlight some of the major capital funds within the budget, we've got the motor fuel tax fund, government capital, which is our Fund 300, vehicle replacements is Fund 321, the parking fund, and then various sewer and water funds. We've got a lot of different funds that we use for tracking purposes, but generally they're all sewer and water capital. So the funding that we use for capital, for government revenues or for government type capital, we have the casino gaming money. Last year, for this fiscal year, we allocated that out of the general fund and made it directly for capital. We've got our local fuel tax. We charge 4 cents per gallon. 3 of those cents go to fund vehicle replacements. We use the state of Illinois fuel tax in our motor fuel tax fund, and then various grants as we get throughout the year, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the requested grants as well. And then on the sewer and water side, that comes from the utility rates, grants, and then debt as we're doing major projects. Obviously that includes the issuances of debt. For government capital, some highlights. Roads and sidewalks were at $17.8 million. It is down slightly from the year before, primarily because of all the other projects that are within that fund. So we've got our motor fuel tax at $16.8 million. We've got $1 million out of the general capital fund going towards it. This year it requires, it's approximately 60 lane miles of roadway resurfacing and reconstruction. In addition to that, we've got the Chicago Street project. That's $18 million. That's split for the square component of just under 10, and then the Chicago Street reconstruction itself at 8.2. We've got $1.1 million at Slimer Stadium. It's been kind of a while since we've spent a lot of money there. We've got some major maintenance projects I think looking to undertake. We've got structural painting, fire suppression, redoing the loading dock, parking lot, and then some AV work as well. On the fire side, looking at starting the design to replace and relocate Fire Station 7, and then also start discussions and design and evaluation of a training facility on the fire side. We're doing, as part of the budget, roadway landscape maintenance. So, we did the islands, or major islands, this year, carrying that project through with some funding under the capital fund. I believe it includes some work on Route 59 and then at various intersections throughout the city. Some equipment in the roadways area, street sweeper, mower, tractor, some work to the fleet services, and then Ottawa Street parking deck, doing some repairs there. That's one we're actually in the running for 80% grant of our $1.6 million project, so hopefully we're successful in that so that we can get that funded through DCO. That's actually the same grant that we're receiving on the Chicago Street Plaza side. So we're tapping into kind of building on some of that synergy. On sewer and water, continuing our water main replacement, so that's replacing all of our old water mains in an effort to bring down water loss, looking at 30 miles in 2025. That one is debt funded. It's a component. Our motto is to try and find the lowest cost debt. So for 2024, we were able to get IPA loan debt, which is in the 2% range. If we're not able to do that, then we'll look at, we have in place commitment in the loan through the federal government. That's around 4%. So obviously if we can get a cheaper interest rate, we're going to try for that. Also, we have our Lake Michigan water supply project. There's 2 components to that. There's the improvements that Joliet will own so that we can accept Chicago Water and provide it to our community. And there's also our portion as the lead agency through the Water Commission, where some of the design we're undertaking, and then we get credit for that towards our commission cost. Continuing our lift station program at $1.1 million, $9.3 million on the sewer collection system. We have design of the West Side Treatment Plant expansion, so the council approved that. That's in next year's budget. Continuing the meter replacements, once again, that's on the water loss side to make sure that all of our meters are functioning properly and that we're billing accurately and capturing the usage of our system. Additional work within the water distribution system, the various different things, and then the well rehab. So that's the deep wells that we have, and we need to continue those operating. And I think we're keeping those for emergencies. So we want to make sure that before Chicago Water comes, we don't have a catastrophic issue where we have hinders our ability to provide safe drinking water until Chicago Water comes. On vehicle replacements, so we're gonna talk about this, over the next couple slides. So we use the government fund in sewer and water. On the government side, we've got 36 vehicles that need to be replaced. That's 3.6 million. 28 of those are police vehicles, 3 large dump trucks, 2 vehicles for fire, vehicle for fleet, plow for building and grounds, an inspector. On the sewer and water side, 5 vehicles, basically 3 work trucks, hydro excavator, and a crane truck. You'll see the number on vehicles is 3.6. Just for those that kind of follow the budget, we don't generate that from our fuel tax today. We generate about $2 million, of which 450 goes towards a bond that was issued to get caught up. Just some background on vehicles. So part of this budget process, we identified that vehicles were competing for things like roads, sidewalk, and other facilities. Looking at some statistics, we have over 750 vehicles and pieces of equipment in our fleet. If you just do some simple math, not every vehicle has a 10-year replacement, but just for simplistic sake, if we take a 10-year replacement, that's 75 vehicles a year. You see that in next year's budget, we only have 36 plus 5, 41 vehicles. So obviously we're lagging to keep up with replacement so that in the future we won't have to do another bond issue. And so we identified that we do need some additional funding as it comes to the vehicle replacements, or it'll start impacting things like roadway resurfacing and other projects. So just this slide has from fleet just the average cost of some of the vehicles within our fleet. So a squad car with all of the equipment is $75,000. Snow plows can get upwards of $320,000. You know, fire, when we have some big apparatus, those get up at the $2.2 million range. And then just general public works trucks, utility trucks, you know, based on plows, dump bodies, how large they are, can get it, you know, anywhere from 60 to 135,000. Then obviously you're adding vehicles, you know, you get that small end, go from 38 to 75. So we looked at options for just, you know, cutting capital, and you know, because we still have roadway work that needs to be done. So we wanted to look at, is there a way to generate additional revenue without impacting our citizens? One of the things we looked to obviously was the fuel tax. The city had looked at that before. It didn't increase. So we wanted to see kind of where everyone else was at before we looked at what our options. Basically what we were looking for is, you know, does local fuel tax impact the price at the pump? And so what we wanted to do, we wanted to survey what other communities charge. And so on the gas side, you see that, you know, the average tax among our neighboring communities is 5 cents. On the diesel side, it's 8. But we also wanted to look at price at the pump, right? Because we wanted to see, you know, and I have New Lenox in there that doesn't have a fuel tax. So we wanted to look at, does fuel tax impact price at the pump? Can we see if there's any correlation there? We looked at 2 stations. It's the same station that's in all of these, you know, both of these stations are in all the communities. Obviously on the gas side, you see one station, same price for unleaded across the market area. On diesel, it moved. And so the other station obviously was varying. Our takeaway was that we couldn't directly tie a correlation to say, hey, this community had a higher gas price because they had a higher tax. And so we wanted to see, was there any correlation there? And so at the end of the day, we really couldn't find one. And so what we looked at is if we went to match the survey average at 5 cents a gallon, how much would that generate? And so the additional penny a gallon would generate $500,000. On the diesel side, we looked at if we go to 11 cents, and the reason we were looking at higher than the market is we have a lot of trucks that run through Joliet. So obviously we wanted to, you know, one of the things we hear is how do we get something from the truck traffic? How do we lessen the impact? And so our thought was if we charge them a higher diesel tax or tax on diesel, we could generate an extra $1 million to go towards vehicles. So if we were to do both of those, it generated an additional $1.6 million. If we were to go forward, we would look to allocate 100% of this increase for vehicle replacements. As we saw on the other slides, it still doesn't get us there, but it's a start to lessen the impact. We will still need, you know, there's an example on the 5-year plan. We're still gonna have some ambulances and large fire vehicles that will need to come out of the capital fund, but your everyday squad cars and so forth, admin vehicles of the police and the fire side and City Hall, and even on some of the public works, could migrate into that vehicle fund so that they're not taking away from roadways and other projects that happen. You know, on the capital plan, I didn't mention, you know, there's a number of smaller drainage projects. Those are projects that impact the quality of life, right? If there's yards flooding, businesses flooding, those are issues for our residents that we want to be able to take care of, but we need the funding to be able to do that. So next steps, still need to meet with a number of the council members one-on-one just to go through the full budget. So the full document, we've published the operating components, so we'll have a full document out there by the end of the week. In fact, it should be out in the next couple of days. Publishing for the public hearings just to get those out of the way on tax levy and budget. So we're going to schedule those or reschedule those for December 3rd. The budget can be changed after the public hearing, so the public hearing doesn't lock it in. The only thing the public hearing does, or you're not able to change after the public hearing, is you're not able to increase the tax levy beyond what we published for. So I didn't think there was a risk of doing that, so we published for the 3rd, so we could adopt either on the 3rd or the 17th or any time after the public hearing. So with that, be happy to answer any questions that may come up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to speak on an agenda item?
Good evening, Mayor and all the council persons. My name is Abdul Bassett. I'm the owner of Riverboat Gas and Food Martin. I have been operating that location for over 15 years. I'm here to object on the denial of liquor license for the site. The site has, been in operation under my management for 15 years, and we never had any issues at the site. We have, before we went to liquor commissioner, we got the approval from all the department, code violation, police and everything. And the liquor commissioner recommended that to the city council to approve the liquor license. But when I was reading there, I saw that today is the liquor license denial already published in the newspaper and everything. So the thing is that over the years, there has been new stations added, and I understand that, when stations added. But they have been given the liquor license and the gaming license, also some of those. And recently, a gas station just on the south side to me opened up, and they have a liquor license there, which puts me in disadvantage. Most of the stations are corporate owned. They can do that, but I, like operator like me, I have to feed my family. And it has put me on a great disadvantage to a new gas station coming right there. And I have seen the sales declining, because of that, because they have additional products and service to offer to the customers. So with that, I really liked the city council to reconsider the denying of my liquor license. Even when I applied there, I met with Councilwoman Susan Ibarra. She is the councilwoman for that area, and I explained her all the situation, and she said that she will be able to support me.
Okay, can I stop him? I'm sorry, this is time, go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so she will have no objection to that, or she understood my point and everything. And that area has other location very close to it who have the same service, so it's not going to change anything in that area too. So keeping all that in there, that's all I have to say though, that I need to be more competitive to compete with the New York stations which are coming in there,
we'll address them when we get to that point.
Thank you.
All right, any questions? Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak on an agenda item? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to council committee reports. The first one is Communication, Technology, and Information Systems.
Okay. The CTIS committee met Wednesday, November 6th, 2024, in the executive conference room. In attendance were councilpersons Cardenas, Ibarra, and myself. We discussed 3 items. Renewal of contract for Evolve software for Project Docs plan review in the amount of $35,400. We've used this software since 2021. It's used by the building department to review all commercial and industrial permits, new builds, signs, parking lots, demolitions, along with residential new builds, remodels, fences, etc. The second item was award of contract to CDWG for the 2024 GTAC replacement program for public safety in the amount of $144,412.84. We will be replacing semi-rugged laptops in public service vehicles, 19 fire department and 20 police squads. The lifespan of these devices is 5 years, so we are expecting to begin a 5-year replacement cycle program beginning with these 39 that we are approving today and going forward. The third thing, award of contract to Granicus for public management suite in the amount of $69,855.54. This system is used to run all things meeting related. Public access, agendas, notifications, minutes, live cast encoding, software to provide high quality live streaming, and so much more. All items were voted on to bring forth to the full council with committee's recommendation for approval. And then under new business, not for final action, was brought up, we wanted to get an update on the completion percentage for the executive conference room and the council chambers. We were told that it was 100% complete. Is there anything else? Okay, then that is our report.
Okay, next we have Diversity and Community Relations.
The Diversity and Community Relations Committee met here on Wednesday, November 13th. On the committee and in attendance were myself, Councilman Clement, and Councilwoman Ibarra. We had a brief agenda, just approval of minutes from our previous meetings in February, June, and October. We had a CDBG review, which we've had the report for already earlier today. The one other agenda item was a memorandum of understanding between the City of Joliet and Joliet Township. This is in regards to the Forest Park Community Center, which was awarded CDBG funds in 2021 for capital improvements. That work was completed in 2023. However, the Forest Park Community Center has since been purchased by the Joliet Township, and as requirements of that CDBG funding are expected to continue to serve the community with the same requirements that the CDBG funding would require. And so this is simply a memorandum of understanding to say that the community center will continue to operate within the requirements and the limits of that HUD funding. And so there's no major changes, just simply acknowledging that the community center has transferred ownership over to the Joliet Township, and that they will continue to operate within those confines. So unless there's anything else that either of the committee members would add, that would be a very brief report.
Chairman Guerrero, can I
Yes.
add something?
Please.
Mayor?
Sure.
Just that I think Jackie is doing a great job. We have a vision, me, Councilman Clement, and Councilman Guerrero have a vision of how we want this to go. And Jackie's been extremely willing to work with us to go the best way for the community, because outside of sidewalks and the normal regular things we get requests for, this is the next most requested thing, is about the funds and how we're using them. So I really appreciate not only my fellow councilmen on this committee, but also Jackie we're going to work together to have this be more of a homegrown feel and to help a lot of people. So it was a very impressive report, Jackie. Thank you.
Okay, our next committee is Finance.
Finance Committee met here in chambers at 5:30 this evening. On the committee is Councilman Reardon and Councilman Hug. We had a very short meeting. We started with the approval of the 2025 meeting schedule, which would be on the third Tuesday of the month at 5:30. Finance-wise, the highlights, sales tax trending 2.6 million higher than last year and projected to end at approximately 2 million higher than budget. Interest income is trending 2.5 million higher also. The replacement tax is trending 2 million lower at this time. The sewer and water fund revenues are rebounding and is now trending approximately 5% more than last year. Parking fund continues to operate at a deficit. Sherry? That's my report.
Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, we have Public Service.
Saving the best for last, fasten your seatbelts, it's gonna be exciting. All right, the Public Service Committee met today at, met yesterday at 4:30 here in the council chambers. On the committee is myself, Councilwoman Reardon, and Councilman Mudrin. It was a routine meeting. We had 7 contracts we looked at. I'm not gonna go into detail. We had a couple, one for 181,000, another for 184,000 for repairs of wells in our water system. We have one for a bucket truck purchase of 157,000 for the Public Utilities Department. Of course, they have that in their budget, so that was planned for. We did awarded a culvert repair, or recommended the award of a culvert repair. Looked at the bids project to Len Cox and Sons Excavating for about 188,000. The big one actually was P.T. Farrell. We looked at the contract and they were the low bidder for $2 million, just north of $2 million. This is part of the 2024 resurfacing contract. We 3 years ago started to really beef up, as everybody's seen around the town, catching up on the poor condition of many roads, and we're making great headway. This one is in this year's budget, but it will be done early next year. So that's what that $2 million number was for. That's in the budget. That's nothing new. The other one we talked about yesterday was a professional services agreement, concerning the water, alternative water resource, or alternative water source program to Stantec in the amount of $117 million. That is not something new. That is, we knew this would happen. This is part of the phasing. Each time we make it through one phase, then we have to graduate to the next phase, move on to the next phase, construction, for example. Then we have to award the contract for the engineering of that phase. So this is not something new. This is not a change order. I believe, I hope I'm not remembering wrong, I believe, Allison, the city of Joliet, this is, the vast majority of this is for the commission. City of Joliet is 40% of the commission?
60.
60, yes, I couldn't remember. So 60% of this is the city of Joliet, because we comprise 60% of the commission's water capacity. So again, I just wanted to touch on that. It's a big number, but this was known and planned. This is just the project moving along on time still, correct, right? And within budget. So other than that, we had 2 ordinances, actually 1 ordinance and a resolution. The ordinance we looked at was amending Chapter 31 Code of Ordinances in regard to local limits and administrative enforcement remedies. Really fancy, really confusing. It's required by the EPA. We have presented to them some of our industrial or large commercial sewer clients, what they have in their raw sewage at the end of the day, so to speak, is it can't go right into our treatment facility. It has to be pre-treated by that company. It's their responsibility, and we have to set the limits within of what they can send to us after that pre-treatment, in agreement in accordance with the EPA. And so we presented it like we always do, I think, a couple of months ago, and this is just the formality of adopting it because the EPA approved. It said it was the correct amounts. That's all that was. And the resolution was housekeeping appropriating the $2 million for the resurfacing, contract B resurfacing for 2024 that I spoke of earlier. I think I covered everything. Did I miss anything?
No, good.
All right. With that, Mayor, that would be my report.
Thank you.
Okay, I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of minutes. It is recommended the minutes of the council meeting held on November 4th, 2024 stand approved as recorded. Invoices to be paid. It is recommended this report be approved. Council memo number 536-24. Award of contract for the Well Rock 3 Emergency Rehabilitation to Water Well Solutions, LLC, in the amount of $181,197. Council memo number 537-24. Award of contract for the Well 28D Rehabilitation to Great Lakes Water Resources Group in the amount of $184,226. Council memo number 538-24. Award of contract for the Public Utilities Department Portable Generator Purchase Project to Metropolitan Industries in the amount of $139,999. Council memo number 539-24. Award of contract to CDWG for the 2024 GTAC Replacement Program for Public Safety in the amount of $144,412.84. Council memo number 540-24. Award of contract to Evolve Software for Project Docs E-Plan Review Software Annual Renewal in the amount of $35,400. Council memo number 541-24. Award of contract to Granicus for Public Meeting Management Suite Annual Renewal in the amount of $69,885.54. Council memo number 542-24. Award of contract for the Pilcher Park, Highland Park Drive Culvert Repair Project to Len Cox & Sons Excavating in the amount of $187,990. Council memo number 543-24. Award of professional services agreement for the I-80 Des Plaines River Bridge Community Plan to CDM Smith in an amount not to exceed $392,000. Council memo number 544-24. Professional services agreement for preliminary engineering for the 2026 Water System Rehabilitation Program to Baxter and Woodman Incorporated in the amount of $866,400. Council memo number 545-24. Purchase of one bucket truck from Custom Truck One Source Incorporated in the amount of $157,012. It is recommended council memos 536-24 through 545-24 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under agenda items, Council memo number 547-24. Award of contract for the 2024 resurfacing Contract B to PT Farrow Construction Company in the amount of $2,019,296.84. It is recommended council memo number 547-24 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry.
I'll do the second.
Okay, thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Amendment number 4 to the professional services, Council memo number 548-24. Amendment number 4 to the professional services agreement for the Alternative Water Source Program to Stantec Consulting Services Incorporated in the amount of $117,057,335. It is recommended council memo number 548-24 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor, you know, I think Councilman Hug and some of our staff have given an explanation already. As Councilman Hug mentioned yesterday, we don't want anybody to get sticker shock looking at the, you know, the just huge number that's on this agenda item. But I think it's just worth mentioning again for the audience, anybody watching at home, that the majority of this cost here is reflected upon the commission as a whole. So I know the people watching at home don't have the agenda to read here, but $106 million out of this total cost is going to be the cost shared amongst the commission, and Joliet would simply be as a sort of as the program manager, sort of like picking up the bill when getting dinner with friends, and the idea that they'd be paying us back later. But if we could have Allison give us a very briefly sort of what is the timeline for this, when can we expect to see that credited back towards us, and then just for how long does this, what is the coverage of this amendment here? How long does this go for?
Yes, so as Councilman Hug said, when the contract with Stantec was initially approved back in 2020, it was always anticipated that as the program progressed, we would add additional amendments to cover the scope of work as we learned what would be needed to be done. So this amendment, as you said, is a significant amount. However, you know, the overall program budget for the program is $1.5 billion. So it's well within, you know, industry standards for percentages for how much engineering work would cost. So the exciting thing for this amendment is that we are including construction services. So the program is progressing, and we are excited that we are starting construction. And so a significant portion of this amendment is for the construction services for the contracts that we anticipate that will start construction within the next 2 years. So the relationship we have with the Water Commission is we are the program manager. So we have a contract program management agreement with the Water Commission to provide certain services. And within that agreement, it spells out that Joliet will pay for the development costs. So development includes the engineering that Stantec performs. And then this amount is credited to the amount that Joliet owes to the commission. As mentioned, we're 60% of those expenses. So this is we don't get paid back the amount, but we get credited the amount for the amount that we owe to the commission. So again, you know, this is a large amount, but it's critical that we move forward with the program to stay on schedule. And again, you know, we're having the first groundbreaking, you know, first quarter of next year. So we're on track to meet that 2030 deadline.
Right. And as we've had in the reports here, we are on pace to kind of meet the expected deadlines for the different phases of the project before 2030.
Yes, that's correct.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Licenses and permit applications. Council memo number 550-24. Resolution to deny issuance of Class CG liquor license at 91 Airport Drive, Joliet Gas and Food. It is recommended a resolution be approved denying the issuance of Class CG liquor license at 91 Airport Drive, Joliet Gas and Food.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Any questions or comments?
Can I?
Yeah.
Can we have the liquor commissioner come up and can he explain the reason for the denial?
Good evening. So both these resolutions are very similar. They're both gas stations in a very similar area of Joliet. It's kind of simple. The neighborhoods don't really want them there, another liquor license there for packaged liquor. there's already several packaged liquor license available there. So there's already options for anyone who's in that area to purchase packaged liquor to have it. It comes down to the neighborhoods don't really want it. It's not really in the best interest of the city. And that's all it really comes down to. If there's any other questions or issues, I'll answer.
I just want to make it clear, while I support Mr. Bassett's business, and I have been there and I have purchased gas, the direction of this council is definitely not to flood the city with a bunch of liquor. So I completely understand his position and that his business is struggling, but we also have a community that's hurting. And when the neighborhoods don't want something, that usually dictates for sure my decisions. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for that explanation.
Just the mayor, a quick question. We have, you can call it a truck stop, it is a medium-sized gas station that was approved by the council in my district on Route 30. And they were awarded a liquor license, even though the neighbors didn't want it. So what's the difference there? Along Route 30, the truck stop that's gonna be going in, over by the Denny's?
I believe that actually, I don't have the correct, or all the information in front of me. I believe that liquor license was probably approved not to a gas station, but for, I think that's a separate liquor store, gas station. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look more.
Well, it's one building.
Hear me?
They have it's proposed to be one building, so I'm saying, I get it if the neighbors don't want it, but this council approved that one on a recommendation from the liquor commission to approve it, so what's the difference?
That was probably based on the community did not come forward and ask to their council. Is that your council or?
Yeah, I voted against it, the liquor license.
Is that your district? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. I have to look more into that. I'm not 100% sure exactly the facts of that particular one. That was a few months back. I'll look more into that.
Okay, yeah, but we got to vote tonight, so, all right, well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for what you do.
Anyone else?
Kevin, real quick, the petitioner is here from the 1411 Riverboat Center.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the corner by the hotels and
Yes.
all that. And where are the closest liquor sales to that one?
There's six. Well, there's nine licenses within a mile. There's 6 package licenses within a mile of that location. 3 of them are hotels, so the hotels don't need it. Their guests don't need to go out and get packaged liquor. They have it available at the hotel. It's a small fridges. There's 3 other liquor stores within a mile of that location. So the necessity is not there for another packaged liquor license, which is part of the reason that recommending to deny this license.
So is there a liquor store in the little plaza down the street, or are these just gas stations and hotels that have these liquor licenses?
3 are hotels. One is an old school, I guess you call it, Class A liquor license, where it's a bar that has a packaged liquor license as well, and the 2 are actual just packaged liquor stores.
And how close are the packaged liquor stores?
I don't know if they're walking distance, but they're within like a half a mile. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, for me, I don't have a problem with the liquor. I have a problem with we're attaching the gaming to it, and if it is denied, there's an appeal process, but I think we learned what was going on from Broadway Street and Theodore back in the day, so those are my comments.
Is that the license that they
Well,
are?
this isn't, these licenses aren't gaming licenses.
Is that what?
He mentioned gaming. It's not a gaming license. CG is a gas station packaged liquor. The BG license is the gaming license that goes along with gas stations, which the council capped maybe 6 months ago or so. So that's not even it. That doesn't even come into consideration. That they're basically not even allowed to apply for a gas station gaming license. This is just a packaged liquor license.
So gaming's done, right?
Gaming's not on the table on this one. They mentioned gaming, but that's not. And maybe that's their ultimate goal, but that's not even part of this process. This application is just for a packaged liquor license. Okay.
Mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, Councilman, remember, gaming license is attached to a pour license. That's what's bizarre about the BG. They have to actually be able legally to serve liquor and drink it on premises. And this is just packaged.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
I need a motion in a second.
I'm gonna ask that we table this one. I'm gonna make a motion to table it. I wanna talk to the petitioner. He came here tonight in good faith. He's been a partner in the city a long time. And I'm gonna take some time and, speak with him sometime before the next meeting. So I'd
Excuse me,
make
Mayor?
a motion to table it to the next meeting.
That
I'll
was the
second.
second one, I think you're talking about.
Yeah, the
river-
second one, 1411.
The first one is the
Oh, we're on
airport.
91 still? I'm
We're on
sorry.
91 right now.
My fault.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll make a motion to deny that one.
I made the motion and somebody seconded
Oh,
it,
that's
so.
right.
Oh, we do?
I better start paying attention.
Okay, so we do have a motion second?
All right.
Okay. So it's been motioned and seconded to approve a resolution to deny issuance of Class CG liquor license at 91 Airport Drive, Joliet Gas and Food.
Question, I'm confused. Who motioned? Did you motion?
No,
Mayor?
I'm.
Who motioned approval and who
Councilwoman
seconded?
Reardon.
I did,
And who
and
seconded?
Jan seconded.
Okay, got it.
I'm the one that got
Maybe I'm
lost.
not
I
paying
got
attention.
lost in the shuffle. No, I was doing me.
Wake up down there, will you guys?
All right, thank you.
I just
It's
wanna-
cold enough in here.
All right, sorry, we can run it.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
This is on the other one. Not with the petitioner here.
Can I skip? You can come back to me last.
Okay. Councilman Mudrin?
This is a motion to deny
Yes.
following a
Yes.
recommendation. Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
No.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
No.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Councilman Ibarra?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried to deny the issuance of Class CG liquor license. Okay, Council Memo Number 551-24, resolution to deny issuance of Class CG liquor license at 1411 Riverboat Center Drive, Riverboat Gas and Food. It is recommended a resolution be approved denying issuance of Class CG liquor license at 1411 Riverboat Center Drive, Riverboat Gas and Food.
I'd like to make a motion to table this one.
Second.
Am I on the right
Second
one?
that.
All right, cool.
I was gonna table it just for kicks.
Can we do that, Todd? Are we okay with that?
Yeah, you can do that till the next council date, or?
Yes, till the next council meeting.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to table to the next council meeting, which will be December 3rd. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Ibarra?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, under ordinances, Council Memo Number 553-24, ordinance approving a special use permit to allow massage therapy business located at 3078 Caton Farm Road. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to approve.
Any comments? Everybody okay?
Councilman Quillman?
No.
Councilman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 554-24, ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a used truck dealership located at 251 Republic Avenue. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
I'm going to move to deny because we really want a medical center over in that area, so I would make a motion to deny this.
I'll second.
Any comments? Any other questions? Thank you.
Just so we can be clear on what people are voting on. So the recommendation was to be adopted, but instead of voting no on that, you'd rather make a separate motion To deny.
To deny the special use
Right, 'cause
permit.
remember, nobody's going to make the motion to approve, so we can't go into a vote. We need a motion
Oh,
to
yeah,
approve.
yep,
to be
yep.
able to vote.
I just want to make sure everyone's clear on what you're doing.
Voting on.
Yeah,
So it died for lack of a motion.
yep, yep, okay.
Okay, so it's been motioned and seconded to approve.
No,
to
to deny.
Oh, sorry.
Deny.
It's been motioned and seconded to deny the special use permit. We've got
Must
it.
be the air in here tonight. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 555-24, ordinance amending Chapter 31 of the Code of Ordinances in regard to local limits and administrative enforcement remedies. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 556-24, ordinance amending and restating ordinance 17928, which established salary ranges and fringe benefits for non-union employees, amendment to group health insurance. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be extremely brief. I said what I had to say yesterday. Obviously, a very important issue for the residents, for the city employees. This affects, again, I want to be part of the solution. I feel that, when we roll this out, I feel this is just my opinion, that we probably could have did a better job, getting everybody together a little sooner than Tuesday. And again, I want to be part of the process. I was hoping that maybe Blue Cross could have been there, could have showed us the policies. Everybody could have read through them, who this is going to affect. And that's just my opinion. So I just feel like we rushed through it. So those are my comments.
I've got some comments I'd like to make, and, along with that, Councilman Clement, a lot of times, and I've been involved in these things for many, many years, the insurance people will wait till the last minute to give you premiums, and you're forced into making a pretty quick decision, which is tough, and we kind of had this. There was a lot of work that went involved in trying to create a better policy for the non-union employees that brought in preventative care and things that are not in the original contract from 2016. So it did take a while to bake this, and you really can't present it until you know the numbers. And the numbers are very fair. The numbers are equitable for those that go on that program or choose to go on that program. But, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the residents for the economics of this community, for their investment in their tax dollars, their hard-earned tax dollars. And these changes will provide cost savings to the city while also giving our exempt employees an opportunity to live healthier lifestyles through an inclusion of preventative care, something we don't have now. The unions have a collective bargaining agreement on health care that was approved in 2016 and cannot be altered until 2030. In my 34 years in collective bargaining, I've got union employees that work with me. I've been involved in union negotiations for 2,000 machinists in the Chicagoland market when I chaired a couple of those, and we never went beyond a 3 or 4 year contract. So I was taken aback when I learned shortly after my tenure as mayor that we had a kind of a handcuff deal for 14 years that usurped 3 contracts or more. As I looked harder at it, we can't negotiate Blue Cross. We can't change carriers. We can't negotiate other carriers. And it's, as we all know, healthcare is escalating at about 7% a year. We're running at about a 6% a year. So as I said last night, and I'm going to repeat myself, When this contract was put into place in 2016, the cost to the city in healthcare was $22 million. Now in 2024, that's $32 million. And an escalator of 6%, which actually I just read in the Wall Street Journal the other day, it's actually moving at about a 7% clip. While the cost of living has been tamed down to 2.5%, healthcare continues to outrun that excessively. So at that pace, by 2030, we will be $42 million in healthcare for current employees and retired employees. So we have a job to do to work with the unions. I know they've agreed to talk over the next year to take a look at this program. It would have been too hard for them to swallow, and I agree with that. I mean, there's some good moving parts, but the smaller amount of folks that are non-union have really embraced this. Most of them have. And they can take an AB plan. They can go on the other one, or they can stay on the one that we offer now. But over time, we really have to address this because it's going to be a large part of the operating costs of the city. And every time we invest money in things like this, it's less sidewalks, less roads, less everything. So it is imperative that we start to work on this because we've got to start chipping away at this over the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years because there's a rather large amount of money that's indoctrinated to this. The sum of money right now would be about $700 million in unfunded liability for healthcare if we do nothing. So it's up to us to do something. You know, we're talking about a water project that's $800 million. We're talking about an insurance project that's $700 million. And we can make adjustments if we can all get together and agree to work together on this process. So I just want to make those comments as we all begin to think about how we want to vote for this and leave it at that. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yeah.
So we have roughly 900 employees. This is roughly 100 employees. I believe the number is 97 who actually exempt, who actually participate in this. So I just want to clear it because the people that are directly interested need to know. Number one, if we approve this tonight, it is not taking away retiree insurance benefits. That's not happening tonight. It is, however, going to require the current retirees to switch to the new plan. I'm correct in what I've seen so far. We talked about this, Kevin.
Only the non-union, so retirees from non-union, yes.
Right, the 97, I think, employees.
That's the current number, roughly the current number of active employees, but we have a number of retirees that have retired from either union or non-union. So the retirees from union plan, positions will have their option of which plan. If adopted tonight, retirees from non-union positions will move to the new plan.
Right, that's not a choice. The exempt retirees will move to the new plan.
Correct.
So then, did we reach out to the current exempt retirees? I know the city manager said that you had a Teams meeting, an online meeting with employees about the new plan. Did we talk to the current exempt retirees, since they will be required to switch the plan? They don't get a choice.
I didn't speak with them. I don't believe.
So HR, I believe today, send out notices. There's an open enrollment over the next 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks. That they're invited to come and they'll receive information in the mail.
But this will be after we voted on it.
Correct, because we.
Maybe, Kevin, it would be helpful for you to explain a little further, like we did earlier on other conversations with the council members about what it means for the
Let me
for the
finish my
500.
comments, because I'm going to cover that in conjunction with Kevin, because
Okay,
we had a nice
good.
conversation today. We did. So for those who are saying, no, this has no effect on current employed union members or retirees. Forget about that. This has no effect on them. They do have the option, the current and the retired union employees, to go to the new plan, but they also have the option just to stay where they're at.
Can I stop you there? I don't think that's not true.
So current union employees.
Cannot.
They have an option. They can choose.
Just to clarify, by law, we cannot offer the active union employees.
I'm sorry, I should have just said retired union employees.
Yes.
We have a locked and loaded collective bargaining agreement that says we can't negotiate Blue Cross. We take whatever price they give us.
Now I'm a little confused from our conversation, because I think you said, and I may have misspoke about the current ones. what about the retired? They can't change either.
Union retirees are not, they don't follow the collective bargaining agreement. They're retired.
So they can choose the new plan.
So we have to, by law, offer them the existing plan, but we can offer them a new plan, and if they want the new plan, they can take it. We cannot change how much they pay for it.
And thank you for the clarification, Terry. I misspoke on
No,
that by
that's okay.
including
I
the
just
active
wanna-
employees.
We all gotta be clear all the time.
But really, there's no requirement for retired union members or active union members to do anything after we vote on this if it passes tonight.
Correct.
This does not affect them. They need to, I think a lot of them may have questions about that, and I think that's what Councilman Clement is getting. As it pertains to the exempt, which is the non-union employees and non-union retirees, current retirees, the non-union employees have the option to stay with the current plan at an increased rate, or to switch to the new plan with a nominal increase, like instead of 50, it's 67, that kind of thing. So it's a small increase. So they still have that option, either to pay more to stay where they're at, or to take the new plan if they like the additional benefits, which have, but it also includes a $500 deductible instead of a $250. So they need to know that, but they have the option. The retirees, exempt retirees currently, must go to the new plan.
Correct. That's what we're proposing.
Right. If it's passed, I'm referring to that.
Correct, and the reason is, as you mentioned, the existing plan that we offer today is a $250 deductible. The reason people, if they select that plan, will pay more is that plan is more expensive.
Right, so they're still getting their free, the premium, no
Retirees.
premium, retirees are, so that's why they are required to go to the new plan.
Correct.
And there is no option to pay more to stay with the current plan, it's just, you stay with the original agreement, which was no premium as a retiree, but you must go to the new plan because that's what the ordinance provides for.
Correct.
Even the current ordinance provides for any changes that may make, right? So while I agree with Councilman Clement that it may have been rolled out in some ways clumsy, I wanted to clarify that because I believe you got a lot more calls than I did, Joe, but I got a few calls too. And that's why I called Kevin today because I wanted to make sure. We've not seen, there is no sample or mock-up, from Blue Cross on this. It's just essentially, let's just say this. There's not a detail. For instance, will they still have the same coverage for mental health coverage?
I see what you're saying.
So anything that we've not explained to them that's changing will, under the new plan, anything that's not changed that we've explained will come from the old plan.
Well, and those are usually handled during the open enrollment meetings, and that's where we've scheduled those. There's one scheduled for Thursday, following Monday, and then the following Monday after that. So those are when those types of questions and information is available at open enrollment.
But are there any changes that we haven't explained yet?
That I don't believe so. That was not our intent. Our intent was not to take things away, just incur preventative care, follow the Affordable Care Act, but not take benefits away like that, like coverage things. We don't want to change networks or those provisions. So I don't want to speak out of turn. I want to consult with the broker and Blue Cross just to make sure on those types of questions.
Okay. So I just wanted to get the facts out there without actually taking either side right now. Just so the people that are affected by this know, because there was some confusion out there and there was some questions that were way out in left field, some people are like, are they taking away our retiree benefits? Like, no, that's not what's being voted on tonight.
Right, and if I could just clarify, and attempt to clarify, I know that's an emotional topic for a lot of people. So on the retiree side, there's, people who retire from non-union, they'll have the new $500 deductible plan. People who retired from union positions, they'll have their choice. Once again, we're not changing what they pay, but we figured that, we received a lot of good feedback on this new plan because of the preventative and how the plan was structured. So we didn't want to deprive retirees from the union side, this new plan design. We can't force them, but they have the option of going there, same cost, because we can't change that. On the union side, on the active employees, because of the collective bargaining agreement, as the mayor mentioned, we can't change anything. We can't even offer the new plan if a member says, hey, and we've received that question, says, hey, I want that new plan, can I take it? The answer is, I can't even offer it to you by law. It's still the same plan you have today at the same rates that are in the contract. On active employees who are non-union, as you mentioned, if they want the existing plan, it's going to cost more. The reason is they're paying for the upcharge on that plan. On the new plan, if a non-union employee takes the new plan, in fact, single coverage, they're going to save a little bit of money. And the reason for that is we modeled the employee premiums after a % of what we would pay from a premium standpoint. So as everyone knows, single coverage is the cheapest. So we made the employee contribution, it's 5.75% of that. Employee plus spouse goes to 51 instead of 50. On the family side, I think it goes to like 67. And so the idea is it's proportional. Our goals there was, there's an incentive to an employee. Right now, if they cover just themselves, it's 50. If they cover them and a spouse, it's 50. So everyone just covers everyone they can.
Right,
Here,
and Kevin, under the new plan, a single only pays 26, 27?
yeah, 26.
$26.
So there's a potential that employees won't cover spouses because a spouse has to get covered somewhere else, which then saves us money. Right?
Now,
So-
the other question I had, so this is roughly the estimate from the actuarials, is that it would save, now this is just the 97
Yes.
exam, save up to 230,000 a year. Now, our current bill is 32 million a year.
Yeah. So what we can
And
measure.
this doesn't address the OPEB at all.
No, it minimally addresses OPEB just because the cost of coverage is lower, but clearly who's eligible is the big component of the OPEB, which is the 700 million. So what the actuary or the underwriter can calculate, we've calculated at least 230 million, or 230,000. And the reason I say what we can calculate is, there's no good numbers on the underwriting side to say, hey, Kevin got a physical, Kevin's not gonna have a heart attack, we're not gonna have a big claim, that's a savings of X in 3 years. So that we can't calculate. We do know based on the experts that it will lead to a lower claims experience for Kevin in the future. We just don't know how much. So that's why I say what we can calculate is 230. There is potential other savings, not maybe this year, but in the future, because that group of the workforce is healthier and they don't have those catastrophic claims. We just can't calculate those.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. One thing I want to clarify too, the reason we do have to delve into this, right now, at that 32 million, half of that is current employees and the other half is retired employees. As it moves towards that $42 million mark, the retired side is going to be the one that grows the fastest, because anybody that retires with 20 years by 2030, and I hear there's going to be a big migration, will be able to continue on with that health care. And the city's not going to renege on that because the deal was made in 2016 to do this. So we do have a job to do to try and figure out how to rein this thing in, because it's almost unaffordable. The average person in the country right now pays about $6,600 a year out of their check on an average of $25,500 worth of insurance. So I hope everybody respects the fact that this city is carrying a lot of insurance for their employees. And I love our employees, don't get me wrong, but as leaders of the city and the 149,500 people that are not union members, we have a responsibility to make sure that we do what best we can do with the taxpayers' dollars that we're entrusted with. So those are my comments. Go ahead.
Thank you. So what we're missing here is the preventive care portion of this. Hospital costs, doctor's costs, everything medical is going up sky high. And what we have now, which we don't have now, but in the future, if we take care of this preventive care in this new policy, you can go to the doctor and get a wellness check. You don't have to wait till you're vomiting or feverish. Or you don't have a lump in your breast right now. Women can't get a pap smear just to go get a checkup. You can't get a mammogram just to go get a checkup. You have to have something wrong with you right now under this current policy. With the preventive policy, you can get your yearly mammogram, you can get your yearly pap smear, and that's just a couple examples to catch. Now, also, with lung cancer on the high rise, you may feel a little discomfort, but that's not enough for your doctor to give you an x-ray. So you'll have to go there, usually out of your own pocket if nothing's there. It's very complicated, this preventive stuff, but it could save your life. You could save your life early in the cancer stage. For example, colonoscopies. No one wants to get a colonoscopy. But if you have blood in your stool or discomfort, constant diarrhea, and they're going to be offering Cologuard, did you say? Yes. Kevin? Yes, Cologuard? Okay. Yes. And sometimes that's an early catch, so that would be a prerequisite. If that shows something like blood in your stool and discomfort, then you would, qualify for a colonoscopy. No one just wants to go for colonoscopy to have a colonoscopy. You have to have something wrong with you, and that part of it. But this will be caught early. I'm talking from a nurse perspective. I know what's going on here with these tests, and I think this preventive care is the way to go here because it can catch something early. You don't have to have an excuse. By the time you find a lump in your breast, most of the time it could be too late. This way you can just get your annual checkup, a wellness health care. And that's what the preventive thing here is. And this is why I'm really for this. I understand the difference in the cost and everything, but long term, if it happens to you, it's gonna be helpful to you because you won't be paying those expensive costs down the road because you will be covered with the insurance. That's my thoughts on that.
Thank you.
Is that not correct, Kevin?
No, you are 100% correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Mudrick?
I'd like to thank the staff, all of the staff, that put many, many hours in with this. There were lots of meetings, obviously some with Blue Cross, more without, listening to the employees on what was needed. As Jan mentioned, preventive was huge on this. There's some major issues with our current plan in that all bills do not go to your max out of pocket. That has changed now. So anyone who's on a maintenance drug who was paying a large amount for that drug before continued to pay that entirely for the year. Today, once they would reach $1,500, the plan pays it at 100%. There are some office visit copays that will come into play that you would not have to satisfy your $250 deductible beforehand. So there's more than a number of issues that are positive for an employee. And the fact that you left the existing plan there for anyone that wants it. I'm on that plan. I'm going to the new plan. I know it's a much better plan than the current plan. And I thank you for letting us have that opportunity in the future. That's it.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
No.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo Number 558-24, resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the 2024 resurfacing Contract B in the amount of $2,019,296.84. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 559-24, resolution approving an honorary street name, Reverend Genevieve Brown Way, for Monroe Street between the Des Plaines River and Water Street. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Can I vote twice? Double aye.
Motion carried.
Long live Genevieve Brown.
Next is the city manager's report.
Good evening, everyone. The city hosted a Red Cross blood drive last Wednesday, November 13th. As this was our first drive, I'm pleased to announce that we were able to collect 10 units, saving up to 30 lives. We also had 3 first-time donors. The Red Cross has offered to help us grow our donor base and believes a year from now we will have 3 times the number of units. I want to thank everyone involved in planning the drive and thank those who donated. Last week, our fire department hosted the second annual Active Threat and Mental Wellness Conference at the Renaissance Center, drawing over 250 first responders, mental health professionals, and community leaders. The conference, held from Wednesday to Friday, provided an opportunity for participants to engage in critical discussions on preparing communities for active threat incidents and the aftermath. Thursday evening, conference attendees were able to meet and mingle with Chicago's own David Eigenberg, who plays Lieutenant Christopher Herman on Chicago Fire. He said he loves the honor of portraying first responders and supports the work of our conference. Congratulations to everyone involved in making this event a resounding success, especially considering the months of preparation and coordination that went into it. I want to especially recognize Fire Chief Jeff Carey, Battalion Chief Jim Blake, who is retiring this week, Deputy Chief John Cook, and EMS Administrative Assistant Marina Gomez for their leadership and tireless efforts to ensure this conference achieved its goal of strengthening community safety. A reminder to residents that City Hall will be closed on Thursday, November 28th and Friday, November 29th in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. Speaking of Friday, mark your calendars to attend the Light Up the Holidays event the Friday after Thanksgiving. There's a full day of activities for families and visitors to enjoy. For more information and ongoing updates on this event, visit www.jolietccp.com/holidays. In addition, the all-new Glow Holiday Festival to light up Joliet will be held at the Slammers Stadium and kicks off Wednesday, November 27th, will run through Sunday, January 5th. For details and to purchase tickets, please visit the Slammers website of glowholiday.com. I want to wish all of our families a safe and happy Thanksgiving. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have public comments. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening? Anyone? Okay, seeing none, we have mayor and council comments.
Who starts it off?
I'll start. I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And that's all.
Okay. We'll get rolling on it. Okay. I was about to, we used to have a guy that was employed here that would pick up signs all over the city, like advertisement signs. It seems like it's becoming a nuisance. They're all over, like for hire and things like that. And
Yeah, we do still have a guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I talk to him daily. If there's an area that you're concerned about, just let us know and he'll go out.
6 Corners for sure.
6 Corners, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Mhm.
I want to thank the Joliet Fire Department. We spoke yesterday about over there at Al Steakhouse. You sent your guy out there immediately. Good job, and we're dealing with it. So I appreciate that, the quick response. Over the weekend, we did another hurricane relief effort over at Old National Bank, and I just want to thank, we raised $700 cash and filled about a third of a trailer full of products that are going to go to Spruce Pines, North Carolina. And I just want to thank briefly Rocky Kaler, Legacy Express, Old National Bank, Joliet Fire Department. They brought the fire truck out there. Our city manager, thank you for allowing that to happen. Real nice touch there, Chief Carey. I want to thank Jim Ralph. Jim Ralph was not only there last time for 2 days straight, he was there again for 2 days straight, the weekend there with me. Jan and Tom Quillman, Susanna Ibarra, Pete Velick, BL Duke, and again, I just want to thank you. I thought it was a success, so I want to thank everybody for that. I'm probably going to steal Jan's. We went to TZAC's on Veterans Day. Very nice ceremony. They're going to try to let us know next year a little bit sooner to get more people there. What a nice ceremony over there.
Very nice.
At TZAC's.
Very nice.
And I believe that's all I have. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just very briefly with, in recognition of our firefighters today and being able to, to save a life, I think it's worth exploring again the possibility we've mentioned, an initiative to have AEDs at several of our small businesses across town. I know that's something that we've kind of brought up before, but I think just today highlights exactly the importance of a quick response time. So I think that's something that we can kind of bring back into motion and start to move forward again. It's definitely today proves exactly why that's important, why that's needed. So just something to kind of put back on the radar. That'd be all.
Thank you.
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone and enjoy your family. Disconnect, unplug, turn off the outside world and enjoy your family for the entire weekend. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. I want to thank everyone who came to the first District 5 community meeting. It was held on Wednesday, November 6th at Bicentennial Park. Many residents, neighborhood councils, and pastors attended, and those who did engaged in meaningful dialogue with several department heads and staff. We covered a lot of topics and answered nearly every question from the audience. My thanks to staff who came out and made their presentations for this 2-hour event. Based on feedback, I hope to have similar event in the spring, and I also want to thank Councilwoman Coleman for being there as well. On Friday, November 8th, I attended a special meeting with the Reedwood neighbors, District 86 Head of Security, and the Joliet Police Department to listen to and strategize about issues facing the residents in Reedwood neighborhood. I want to thank everybody who participated and came out. On Saturday, November 9th, I visited with Brandy Phillips of the Helping Hands non-for-profit to support their holiday dinner and fundraiser in Bicentennial Park. Helping Hands Family Outreach has been providing exceptional enrichment and leadership development opportunities for youth in Joliet, Illinois. Their next event is Saturday, December 14th, 2 to 4 at Cimino's Restaurant on Essington Road. To register, please call Brandy or Gloria at 877-893-7287. Also, all winter coats and items are free for the children in need at that event. Additionally, this past Saturday, I attended the Tomorrow Starts Today Tony Medina Youth Center for an empowerment fair at Second Baptist. Many local agencies were in attendance to provide opportunities to youth. Illinois Brotherhood of Electrical Workers was there. They were talking about their apprenticeship programs, as well as Joliet Junior College officials to talk about their scholarship opportunities for youth in need. All About You Barber Lounge provided free haircuts courtesy of the Tony Medina Youth Center. A great time was had by all. Finally, I want to announce there will be a fundraiser for the Tutti Voice Collective Choir featuring Vivaldi's Gloria in D major. The fundraiser will be held on Saturday, September 14th at 3 at Bethlehem Lutheran Church at 412 East Benton Street. For more information, contact Martha Rago, 708-807-5227. Finally, The Grinch hit Slammer Stadium, and 3 17-foot lit reindeer were stolen. These were aluminum and welded custom lights, property of the Glow Festival. I'm here to announce they're offering a reward for information leading to the arrest, cash donation to the charity of the person's choice, as well as a free 20-person suite to any Glow night during the festival. So if you have any information, please call the Joliet Police Department. Also, completely going off script now, but I was very overwhelmed by the firefighters' presentation. My dad has heart issues, and you know, when I walked in and saw all the firefighters, I just felt such a feeling of pride. And I looked at them and said, "You're superheroes. Your cape is tucked inside of your outfit, but I can see you're all lifesavers." I had no idea they were coming here because they saved a life, but bravo to them. Also, I want to honor my mother and father. I was a turkey baby. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago. It was a lot of years ago. But I was a turkey baby, and I made my mother miss her ravioli on Thanksgiving dinner. So in honor of my birthday, I just want to thank my mother and father for everything they've done for me throughout my life. With that, concludes my council comments. Thank you.
Firefighters, obviously, we're very proud of you. you train for this event all the time, for this happening, and I'm sure you were more than thrilled that you were able to save the gentleman's life after he had already, I guess, died, or stopped breathing at least. So thanks for what you do, and very proud of you, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Well, I attended the police promotion ceremony last week, and congratulations to now Lieutenant Bledsoe, Sergeant Montello, and Sergeant Ryan Myers. And I did go to the Veterans Memorial, which brought me back to when I did 3 flights for Honor Flight Chicago to honor our vets. And I would ask all of you, whenever you see a veteran, thank them for their service. And if you have a father or son or cousin, whatever relative, that have not been on Honor Flight Chicago, please sign them up. It's an all-day expense-paid trip to Washington, D.C., and they're honored throughout the entire day, and there's somebody with them, even if they're not quite physically able to go with the oxygen and everything. That's why the nurses are there, and we do take care of folks in the wheelchair and oxygen, and there's doctors on board as well. So please, please, please take advantage of that. Honor Flight Chicago, thank a vet, and thank you all, and happy Thanksgiving.
I'll just say happy Thanksgiving. Please take the time to enjoy your family and friends.
Thank you. Just a couple quick comments. You know, I think we all sitting up here hear a lot of comments about how torn up the city is, and unfortunately, as I said before, I probably wish I would have been mayor a while back before we did all this stuff. But nonetheless, I refer to Joliet as like a fine old house. You know, one of my kids has redone about 2 or 3 houses, and you rip them down to the studs and you put them back together. They're much better with the same bones, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So I want to thank the community for the patience they have with all the traffic troubles we have and the downtown and everything else. But we're going to make this the finest house around when we're done with it. And talking about modernization, I had the pleasure to speak at an event yesterday to celebrate the significant greening of Joliet. We were able to, through a CJ grant, the Park District was given a $1.3 million grant that put in 8 level 3 chargers, high-speed chargers, and they're in a perfect location. I mean, people can come get their car charged, get their body charged, and get out and go. And this is the beginning of electrification for the state said they're going to put in 7,000 chargers like this close to the interchange, the highways to keep people moving. I happen to drive electric vehicles, and the level 3s are great. You can fill your car up in a half hour, and in this case, go work out and hang out. And so this was a really neat thing. We're the first one in the state that was able to perform this. That's why the governor came down to kick it off. So we're grateful to the governor for everything he does, and Commonwealth Edison partnered on that one. That's all I got to say. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and God bless you all.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
It's been motion and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
See you guys.
See ya.